we're going to be hearing from Andrew Tuttle, the co-founder of Edge Perma, which is a permaculture design and education firm that specializes in creating in-depth and comprehensive case studies that show people how to implement various regenerative agriculture practices. They've done some incredible case studies on agroforestry, and I'm really excited for Andrew to talk more about that, and Mary too. And Mary, I didn't get your bio, but I have a little bit info on Andrew. Andrew also teaches at Edmonds College. But I would love for you both to introduce yourselves and to tell us about how you are implementing these alternative, innovative models for communicating information about agroforestry adoption. So I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, I work side by side with Andrew. So much of his resume, you know, working at Edmonds College, we do that together. So yeah, I'm going to let him take the lead on demonstrating all that we do, and he'll dig into showing you some of the case studies that we've done. So yeah, I'm going to hand it over to him, but I'm sure I'll chime in here and there.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Mary. I didn't send a bio for Mary because it was a surprise last-minute addition that she was free to jump in on this call. So yeah, I'll share some of my perspective, and then I'm sure she'll add to that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I'll just go ahead and share a little bit while this plays. So basically, I have been working in agriculture since transitioning from the military in 2015. In 2020, I was teaching permaculture design at Edmonds College and recognized this need for more in-depth case studies to really show my students what these farms look like and how they function. And so in 2020, Mary and I formed a new business. We'd been offering services in landscape and farm design with Red Tail Edge Design before that. But we put all of our time and energy into developing a new way of teaching. And that's what we've created here at Edge Perma. So what you're seeing in this promo video is some of the tools that we use to document regenerative farms. And we start with an overview of the site. So in a second, you'll see what it looks like when a 360 camera is attached to a drone and flying around the farm. And the goal here is to give the students full control of what they get to see. So this cursor, you're actually clicking and dragging and controlling the view of the space. Then you drop into this 3D model of the farm, where you're, again, in full control of moving around the space. From here, you can drop down to the 360-degree panoramas, where you can then virtually walk through the site. And within this space, you'll click on and watch videos of the farmers talking about their farm systems, how to design, develop, and maintain those farm systems, and learn about all of the different aspects of that farm. Historical documentation, soil data, any of that could be accessed through these clickable icons here. So I'm going to show you one of our latest projects with some actually kind of new tools that we've expanded on since our original project. So this is Farm Walk. So this is a collaboration with Tilt Alliance, Washington State University, and now Edge Perma. We just formed a partnership with all of these folks last year and worked on our first project that was funded by the USDA Transition Organic Partnership Program. And the goal of this project was to feature Viva Farms, which is a really successful farm education center here just near Seattle, Washington. And so this is just a tutorial video on how to use the tour and kind of some overviews of the tools within the tour. And then here at the bottom, you'll actually jump into the full tour here. So first thing that happens is the tutorial video pops up again. You can go to full screen mode here. And after this loads up, we'll be just sitting in a 3D model of the farm. So we create these 3D models of farms using drone imagery. So the way this works is the drone will actually fly itself all around the farm, taking hundreds of photos and stitching it all together. We'll download the 3D model and upload it to CrossCloud, which I'll show you more of those software programs in a moment, because that's kind of the point of this nutshell talk, is to really show you the tools that we're using to create case studies like this. But here's the 3D model, and next you can drop into an aerial panorama of this site. So this we do using just pretty much any drone can do this. We use DJI products, and we use a platform called Drone Deploy to do all the mapping and aerial panoramas and things like that. But within this aerial panorama, this is very focused on this organic vegetable production. However, if we were to document, say, an agroforestry farm, this is actually an agroforestry system on the edge of Viva Farms, which wasn't a part of this project because the focus was organic vegetable production. But if we were to focus on the agroforestry systems over here, we could have another aerial panorama over on this side to click forward to get a view of just above the trees. And then we could have these icons down here where you can drop down to get a close-up view of these tree crops. Learn about the silvopasture systems, how they're roaming, ranging pigs through this space in between nut trees. But I'll give you an example of what this looks like at Viva Farms. So you can drop down into the virtual tour here. And this is the outdoor classroom space at Viva Farms. So Viva Farms is a 9-month program where they have basically a whole immersive farm training program. And this is the outdoor classroom here. So I'll show you an example of what the videos look like in this space. I'm gonna mute this. So this is the farm program manager, Micah Anderson, here talking about the different programs there. And I just want to give you an example of what the video content looks like. So if we're talking about different farm systems within the farm, we'll be adding video that really describes how to copy and paste these successful farm systems on other farms. So this video is much more of an overview of Viva Farms, but if we were working on a really in-depth case study on an agroforestry system, it'd be a little bit more targeted on how we can replicate agroforestry systems. That's kind of our long-term goal, is to do more content in that space. But as you walk through the site, you can click on these arrows to go to the next spot, and all of these different icons will pull up just infographics and photos. So this is on the tractor implements that they use at Viva Farms. So again, if we were featuring an agroforestry farm, we'd be showing the different implements that are used to maintain that space. And then we could also have a video, like say there's an icon right here you click that pulls up a video. Then we'd show how to set up these implements on a tractor, how to use them to maintain agroforestry systems, basically everything you need in one space to really learn how to replicate agroforestry. Because as we all know, agroforestry systems can be very complex, very challenging to replicate. So that's the goal of this technology for us, is to basically make it as simple as possible to replicate successful agroforestry systems. And yeah, this is just another example of a stop within the tour and photos of the different farm systems that they have here. More videos talking about this no-till farm here, Osh Farms. And I'm going to jump out of Viva Farms and I'm going to actually go into Inspiration Farm, because that is more focused on agroforestry. Let's see, am I still sharing?
No, it ended up going back to the gallery view.
Okay, let me go back into sharing. And please feel free to jump in with any questions that come up while I'm showing you all these projects. After showing you a little bit of Inspiration Farm, I'd love to go into some of the software programs we use for this, because we've figured out a really great stack of equipment and software programs to make these sort of case studies achievable for anyone to create content like this. I will say, Mary and I have no backgrounds in technology whatsoever. My background is in farming and driving tractors around. So basically in 2020, when we set out on this mission to create a new way of teaching, we taught ourselves how to do all of this. And I will say that anyone out there that's interested in creating case studies like this could learn to do similar things like this.
Yeah, we interned at Inspiration Farm actually in 2015. And so we are just huge advocates for the systems that they have created. And we started, doing landscape design after that. And we love impacting individual homeowners and landowners, but going beyond that and just really trying to find all the tools that we can communicate all the farm systems, going beyond just a textbook or just a stagnant YouTube video, being able to piece all those components together in a way that's really immersive, and you can feel the landform and walk through the farm, really, I think, sets people up to have a greater success when replicating these systems.
Yeah, this is just an example of, is the screen sharing now? Is it on?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, perfect. So this is just an example of what you can layer into these virtual tours. This is a orthomosaic map that we made with drone imagery that shows this farm in the middle of winter. So this pond is connected to this swale. So it's showing how the water moves into this pond and then overflows to this other swale. And as you walk through the site, you can actually see them close up. So you can see this pond here. This was freshly dug and freshly mulched, and it overflows to this swale. And as you walk through here, then we can click on photos of this swale holding and storing water throughout all seasons of the year. You kind of saw a glimpse of that in the promo video, but I'll show you what that looks like here. Because I think that one of the great things about this technology is really showing these different farm systems throughout the year. Because this shot was taken in spring, you can see the fruit trees flowering, starting to leaf out, but then this is shot in the middle of winter. So you really can show the farm from every angle and from every time of year as well, and to really show how these systems function. Then as you walk through, there's also photos of the farmers actually installing these pond systems, which I think is also really useful information, and historical photos of what the farm looked like before all of this was done. But really, you could add just about anything you want into these virtual tours to really make it a super immersive learning experience. We could have a video of the whole installation process of how to design and install a swale. That could be an add-on video that could just be linked right here. So the goal is to really make learning as immersive and accessible as possible. This was really designed for my own brain, really. when I grew up, I really struggled to learn from reading a textbook with black and white letters and black and white photos. And so this is our attempt at really making the most accessible visual learning experience possible, but also reaching neurodiverse learners in new ways. This is what we've come up with. But I will, let's see. I'll leave it to you all to explore these sites. They're all free on our website right now. So feel free to go check out Inspiration Farm, Beacon Food Forest, and Viva Farms, as well as other projects that we're working on right now that will be freely available in the coming months and years. But now I'll kind of transition into showing some of the, let's see, I'm going to go out of this and I'll probably need to share again. I'm going to show you some of the software programs that we use. So this is what all of our projects start with, is we do mapping with a platform called Drone Deploy. And so Drone Deploy has tons and tons of uses within agriculture, not just the work that we do with mapping and modeling, but site analysis and assessment, weed monitoring, irrigation monitoring. This is a platform that has, let me go to agriculture. That'll be more helpful. This is a platform that is just absolutely fantastic. It is fairly expensive. We have a nonprofit discount. We're not a nonprofit, however, they work with us because we do so much in education. And so I just wanted to show off this platform and recommend it as something to look into for not just 3D modeling and mapping like we use, but all sort of assessment in ag. It's a really powerful tool, and it's incredibly user friendly. When we create a map of a farm or a 3D model, all we have to do is drag and drop the box where we want the drone to fly, and the drone will actually go and fly itself without us having to do anything. And it will take hundreds of photos and stitch it all together to give you a crystal clear image of the farm from above, and then give you a 3D model of that space as well. So after we use Drone Deploy, we will then upload to, let's see, are you seeing CrossCloud now, or are you seeing Drone Deploy still?
It's still Drone Deploy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to close out and share one more time.
Yeah, Drone Deploy has been an incredible resource for us within the virtual tours as well within our design process, since we can hop in there and make everything to scale. That's how we do all of our measurements, and it's incredibly accurate.
Yeah, and with the case studies that we're developing, so it all starts in that 3D model. Drone to Play is not a space where you can host 3D models, so you have to find a space to do that. You can either host your 3D models on Sketchfab, or Crosscloud is the very best, in my opinion. It's the most affordable, it's the most user-friendly. It's incredibly easy to do all of this. Once you've created your 3D model, download it and upload it to Crosscloud, you can go in and create those panoramas that we were clicking around in with a 360 cam. And it's just super, super simple to create these case studies. This technology, it's kind of funny, it was actually more so created for historical castle documentation. So there's a whole bunch of projects you can go check out if you want to see some really cool castles in Europe. But we saw this and we were like, wow, we need to take this technology and apply it to farming. And so this is what we've built everything on. And the thing that we really love about Crosscloud is not just that it's affordable, but there's this layer option where you can actually layer 2D maps and topography data on a 3D model. So you can turn off the layers. You could layer winter maps on top of summer maps. This is all sort of stuff we haven't necessarily done yet, but it'll be in the next iterations of our projects moving forward. And then localization. This is probably one of the more powerful features within Crosscloud, in my opinion, because it makes it so that we can translate our content into 8 major world languages seamlessly. So by using this localization feature, we can really reach a global audience with agroforestry content. And then we're also exploring using AI to do video translation. So the videos will automatically translate to these major world languages as well. As far as the technology we use, that's something that we could speak a little bit about as well. We use DJI products and the very best in the world right now. For 3D modeling, that is a consumer grade drone would be DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise. It's like a $3,500 drone, and that is absolutely the very, very best right now for 3D modeling. Then we use Insta360 cameras for creating the panoramas that you see as we're walking through the farm. Those are also very affordable cameras. The camera we use is like a $500 camera, and it does a great job. So between all of those software programs and tools, that's most of what we use. But I'd love to open it up for questions if folks have questions on any of the tools that we use, the process that we use to build out this sort of content. We'd love to hear what you have.